tell you how much that I love you. Let me tell you, me once it. Let me tell you how much that I love you. You found me no search. It's like you knew that inside I was hurting. I was so young, said no chance. But you gave me a shot at a romance. I feel like you were like an angel sent to bring me light. Now that I'm with you, me one say that me love you, that me love you, that me love. Hey, me no go one day wonder. Without my baby, that me love, that me love. And no dance and sing and nothing, because you make my life complete. Oh yeah, oh yeah, I can't believe that this is for me. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, I can't believe that this is for me. Oh yeah. Chada, 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 chada. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, it's for me. Chada, 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 chada. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, it's for me. I've never felt this way. So when they ask us, say, oh yeah, we're going all the way. So me, we happy, love you all the time and things. Sometimes I wonder if the thing could cut us under, to get under, I know. Put your love in my life, control that. I lay down my life this way. Do anything to make you stay. All of the blessings, they come my way. And all the bad things, they turn and away. Sometimes life is such a scare. Your love gives me the strength to bear.
Greetings.
Greetings. So we are getting ready to jump into something that should be talked about, but make sure you come back here in about an hour and 40 minutes or so for Let's Have the Conversation, and we're going to have a whole different kind of conversation at that point. But right now we have special guest Aubrey Marie on because she experienced something here recently and we want to shed some light on it. You were an employee at US Bank. Mm-hmm. And so you experienced some things. So we're gonna just dive right on in so we don't kill time. First, how are you? You look beautiful.
I'm good. How are you? You look amazing.
Gratitude. Fresh out the shower and everything. I'm good. So let's start from the beginning. You started working at US Bank. Mm-hmm. And you experienced a few things. You had been telling the team like you were experiencing some things. We weren't sure if it was racism or if it was sexism, but it was a lot going on. So let's start from the beginning. What was going on when you first started at US Bank?
Well, when I started there, originally I was supposed to be at another branch. The whole relationship of me even being a part of this company was I was working at a popular phone company, and one of the higher managers was at a different location, and I called him to get him over to the actual phone location to where I was to get he and his family over to our network because he wanted to switch, and actually the company US Bank was paying for it. So he moved from that location and came over to mine, and I was the one to help him out. Upon me being able to help him and give him the great customer service that I gave him, he offered me a job. And when this company fired me for pretty much going above their heads to handle a situation that was happening there, and I felt that was unfair, they turned around and fired me about 2 weeks later after that situation happened. And I called him. Something said, just reach out to this person. And I reached out to him, and he was like, yes, I would love to take you on. What happened? And I told him pretty much that they let me go
He
because
was
I was.
already interested in you though, right? When you were his
Mhm.
customer service rep, right?
He was already right when I was already the sales associate. He was already interested because he was like, "Listen, you bomb. If you ever need a job and want to change your career, I'm here for you." And I was like, "Okay, never worked in the banking industry before, so let's see how this goes." And needed a job, was applying everywhere, doing things and stuff like that, and was like, "You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and take the chance. Let's see if I can be able to do it." Hit him up. He sent me through the whole process. Everything was really, really quickly. And I start work. So something happened to where maybe a week before my start date, he calls me and he lets me know that I'm not going to be able to be at his location under his management due to the fact that one of the employees at another branch that he was pretty much over, they were having sexual relations. And in the policy of the company, you're not supposed to be in a relationship with your employee that works in the same branch. They have to separate you. So she unfortunately took my place where I was going to be at that branch, and I had to move over to another location. Upon me meeting this new manager, he was very excited to meet me. That manager that was supposed to have me at his branch told him all of these wonderful things, and just letting him know exactly what type of person that I was because of the services that he received, and he knew that I was going to be a great asset to the company. So just upon me going to the actual branch at this point, I already knew that the energy was off. And I trained at the actual branch I was supposed to be with for 6 weeks. And then after those 6 weeks, I needed to go to the actual home branch that I would be in. So I'd already built relationships with everybody at the other branch and all of that throughout the training period. So I was very, very comfortable with those individuals at that branch because it was all women, pretty much. You really didn't have men, it was all women. But at this branch, it was men and women, older, and I realized that I was the only Melanite woman there. So for me, I was already uncomfortable because of just being around all of these genome people. It was just a lot for me. So, um, first
Do you
30
feel
days,
like so were you the only Melanite period or the only like Melanite woman?
the only Melanite period, only Melanite woman in the branch, only Melanite period
Okay.
at this
So
location.
do you feel like they immediately made you feel because you said the energy was off, so do you feel like they were purposefully making you feel what did you feel intimidated?
I felt like they didn't know what to expect
Mm,
because you could tell that they were not comfortable working around a Melanite woman. But my manager also knew the story, and he knew that I was trans because of the other manager knowing about it, because of how the whole situation went with the other
yes,
job.
yes.
Right.
Hmm.
So he let him know, he told me, he said, "Listen, I've already talked to this manager and let this manager know about your whole circumstance and what happened, and we want to make sure that we protect you." I honestly felt like he was genuine with that, and he meant that, because even though that he was a man of different beliefs, he did not play about judgment. You know, he had a Melanite friend, and he was very of supporting of Melanites. And I felt that energy off of him. But with this other manager, I was just like, he's putting on.
Hmm.
It's an act. This is what he does. And then when I find out that he was a preacher, it really kind of made me feel uncomfortable, because he was like, I was a preacher and I'm not one now, but that still doesn't take you out of your preacher mindset.
Or the judgments, okay,
You
that
know?
opens up another door that okay that makes a lot of okay, go ahead, yeah, sure.
hmm And so when I actually got to the branch, they had a Christmas party that they were already planning. And again, I was going to be the only Melanin woman there. Oh, the only Melanin there. No, absolutely not. I'm not going because it's going to be at someone's house. I don't want to go in nobody else's energy. And plus, on top of that, I don't want everybody asking me all these different questions, trying to give me a drill before we get back into the office. You guys have not earned that right to be my friend for me to be able to be sitting around having a margarita and talking about all these things that y'all talk about when we're all in one room. Like, none of what you're talking about is going to interest me. So I decide not to go. Um, and I just began to feel that everybody, one by one, was just trying to feel how my energy was, you know. In the beginning, it's always, oh, we love Aubrey. We love her. She's amazing, you know. We love how she talks. Her customer service is amazing. She's going to be amazing, amazing, amazing. But the more and more I begin to work at this location, I begin to get more and more uncomfortable. And I realized with a lot of these coworkers that I am picking out who is the shit starters. I'm seeing who is really kind of getting into the mess, really kind of doing a lot of undercover things, and I'm
So
watching how
there's
people
already
are
mess
moving.
happening.
Huh?
There's already mess going on. There's already
The,
mess happening
right.
at this location.
There is already mess happening. There's already situations that have transpired between them as genomes. And I don't know about you, but where there is mess, honey, I move away. Because at the end of the day, I'm here to make my money and go home. I don't have time for what y'all got talking about. They and anybody that works with genomes, you know that when they come to work, they talk about everything. They talk about their business, their children. If they divorce, they're gonna talk about their divorce. They're gonna talk about everything. So they had already built a bond, and I'm the newbie. And you hear them and see they talk so much that they don't even understand how they talk. They said, "We haven't had a new hire in so long." It's just strike number one for me. Because that lets me know that you already are trying to push me out. So why would you say that? Why would you even say that we ain't have a new hire in so long? So what does that mean? Well,
So
you
you
said
felt uncomfortable though. You
I
were
did.
feeling uncomfortable
I did.
because of all of the other mess in the way that they already were presenting their personal lives and business at work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Yeah. And it was getting to the point where it was just always something. Right? There's always a situation. There's those little whispers where you have a couple of them coming in you and telling you, hey, so and so, stay away from her because da 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 da. And I'm okay. I got it. You know, that's me. That's how I am on the receiving end of it because at the end of the day, you won't say anything that I done said and take it back to this person and start some mess. I ain't got time for that. So you gossiping about this person, I see that. Thank you for the gratitude for the confirmation in regards to that. Um, so I just felt like I should have been at the other place. There was one circumstance where I got into it with a young lady that was there, but she ended up transferring. We shared a desk. We shared the same desk. And she came in one morning and was already sitting at the desk, and we both had banker days. For this company, when you're a banker, you're also a teller because they got rid of their tellers. So we would do two jobs in one. I would be a teller majority of the week, and I also would be a banker majority of the week. So we're doing two jobs and only
okay.
getting paid for one. So she comes and she says to me, when you see my purse here, then you would need to find another desk. Ma'am, who are you talking to? That was the first incident.
So there was a lack of respect even when speaking to you.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. You would have that respect when you're around other managers and when we have visitors and all of these make believe team efforts as if that you're trying to be a team member and you're not. You're really trying to see how much I could do to set this person off. Let's
Mm.
see if we can be able to do that.
So you feel like it was purposeful.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Because she was that tactical type of individual. She thrived off of that. You can tell because of the person that she talked to. That person always had something going on and always knew somebody else's business. So they always were nick and neck.
So if her purse is there and you're now supposed to see that and immediately go somewhere else, where else were you expected to go?
Well, she wanted me to move to another desk. And it was more so of, well, when we have, the same banker days, then we go and find another banker's desk that is not on the banker schedule and we sit at their desk. Mind you, I'm still a new hire. I have no one has told me this. This was not explained to me. I'm thinking this is my desk. I didn't know your schedule. I don't look at your schedule. So I really and truly don't care anything about what you got going on because in my schedule it indicates that I can be able to sit at my desk today. And I want to sit at my desk. I didn't know that you was a banker. You didn't make that known to me because we did share. You should have done that. If you knew that both of us were bankers, because you look at the schedule 24/7 to see what time I'm coming in and worried about my schedule. So you should have been able to say, hey, we're bankers today. So I'm going to sit at the desk. When you come in, so and so won't be here today. So just sit at their desk. Go get their computer and sit at their desk. That would have been an issue that would have been solved and properly communicated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But she wanted me to react in a way to be very irate. I gave her a little something, but I didn't give her what she wanted. And I told her, I was like, I'm not even supposed to be here anyway, so it really and truly don't mind me. That's what I told her. And that set her off. That made her upset. And she went and she contacted the manager, went and cried in the bathroom or did something or whatever and played victim. The very person that they were telling me to stay away from to stop the business was actually there and saw the whole thing and quote unquote spoke on her behalf. So when the manager comes in, he wants to do a kumbaya meeting and try to make it seem as if that, oh, this was a misunderstanding and you all should just be able to get over it and it's going to be okay type situation.
Well, what was she crying about? I'm confused on that.
She was crying because she felt that her feelings was hurt because she was like, Aubrey, I support you. I support you. And I'm like, okay, I don't care about that. What I care about is how you thought that you was going to talk to me. I don't care nothing about nothing else. That goes out the window when you decide to think that you're going to talk to me as if I am your child. I am your type of person that you are with. No, ma'am. I don't care what you do that to the people that are running you over, ma'am. Because your story is you have people in your life that run over you. So you felt that in that moment you're going to stand up because I am a Melanite woman? Okay.
Okay, so you told her I'm not even supposed to be at this branch, so that never minds me.
Period. That has nothing to do with me. I don't care. At the end of the day, I ain't supposed to be here. So whatever rules that y'all have going on in this branch, it was not given to me.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all got these secret code of conducts and books about rules that y'all do in this branch, but that has nothing to do with me. None of that was discussed to me.
Okay,
When
so
at the
now
end
her
of
feelings is hurt,
so
and
your
she's
feelings hurt.
so now she's crying in the bathroom.
You're crying in the bathroom and you go and you tell the manager. You go and you go tell the manager,
Mm-hmm.
thinking that he was going to, I guess, discipline me. No, because when I got in that office, I told him exactly what I said, and I meant what I said. What bothered them was that, and what he would say when he tried to do all of these pull-in sessions in the office to try to coach me. on me being me. You can't coach me on me being me when I'm doing nothing wrong. Are my numbers messed up?
When you say coach you on you being you, what do you mean?
He's like, when he would come in, he would always be like, well, Aubrey, um, you're not really being a team player. You really don't talk to everybody. When you're here, you're always disconnected. When the customers are here, you're fine. But, when you're disconnected. You're not connected with the team. And, they feel it. I don't care what they feel. I don't.
But they feel what?
That they feel like I am not coming in and being like them. They want me to come in and tell them everything that's going on with my life. Oh, you're on social media? You do social media? So what do you do? What do you talk about? What kind of show are you on? Oh, that's awesome. What else do you do? Where do you live? Oh, okay. Well, just ask me what kind of panties I got on too. Ask me that. You
So
can't
you
ask
feel
me
like
that,
they
but
were asking you very personal questions that
very
has nothing to do
personal.
with
Yes.
work.
Nothing to do with the company. Nothing.
Yeah.
And for me, it feels as though that everybody feels as when you build a culture of an area or a workplace and it works for certain managers, higher ups as well, then it works for them. They put you in that position so that you can be able to continue the culture for the company, but it's really coming off very disrespectful and very offensive to people that are not used to being open to complete strangers. There
Yeah.
is nothing in this guideline or books that says that I have to come in here and be your friend.
Okay. So you had the issue with the desk situation, and now they're telling you they don't feel like you're being a team player because you're not um, fraternizing, giving your personal business. And so those are two separate incidents. Okay. So now what happens next?
Over the course of weeks, it was so much. It's just like every other week, I felt like that he was bringing up something about what somebody else is saying to me or saying about me, not knowing that I'm already hearing this other person talk about me under her breath to other people, whispering. This all you and this and that. Like you hear all of these things that I'm like, girl, I know you talking about me.
Well, banks are very small, first of all. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're not in New York. The banks are small. But when you, like, what made you think they were talking about you?
Because of just the energy. It would be, she would come and she'll be like, hi, Aubrey. Or, Aubrey, could you do something for me? Mind you, this lady is never a teller usually. She's probably a teller once out of the week, but she makes the revenue of the bank. And when you're working in a branch, what makes the branch money is the revenue. And because she's been with the company for as long as she's been with the company, they don't want to lose her by any means necessary.
Yeah.
They don't want anything to happen with her by any means necessary. And the thing about it is with her is that she knew that. She knew that, girl, this earring. She knew that at the end of the day, they were not going to get rid of her
Mm-hmm.
at
Gotcha.
all.
Gotcha.
And I realized very early on that at the end of the day, it's going to be her over me. Because that's how he's getting his recognition from the higher up managers, is through her.
Mm-hmm.
And she's one of the quote unquote leaders. She and another gentleman were the leaders or the second people in contact. So if the head manager is not here, then you have to deal with this person and this person. I frankly would only deal with the gentleman because me and him had the same type of, you know, attitude towards things. It was strictly about US Bank.
Yeah.
Strictly.
Okay.
It,
So now, okay.
let me put
So
this
now
away.
you have this situation where you kind of think they're talking about you. You
Hmm.
hear the whispers. You're not really sure, but you can feel the tension. You
I
feel
can,
the energy.
I
Now
can,
you're being brought into the office once more.
being brought into the office again. And he is still trying to tell me, you have to be open with your team. Let your team know. So when things are happening and I'm telling him I have to go, yeah, just let your team know. What? I ain't never been in no job to where I have to tell my team my business. If I have to go early for today, I have to go early for today. I don't have to tell my team nothing because you're my manager and
Yeah.
you can let them know on my behalf. Aubrey is no longer going to be here today. So we just have to, deal with her in her absence, but she'll be back tomorrow. That is how you do that professionally. I am not going to go around and tell nobody anything of what I got going on because it's nobody's business but yours. But you're my manager. That's what these other people are my coworkers, they're my colleagues. And he felt as though that because I didn't do that, that was a problem. I can tell that he was bothered about it.
So
But
is
of
that part of
course,
the policy and procedure that if you have something going on, like you are supposed to tell all of the team, like go around to everyone in the bank and
absolutely
let them
not.
know,
No, absolutely not. It
as
is
long as
definitely
your
not the
manager
procedure.
knows.
As my manager knows, you let your manager know everything, even in the trainings. It says nothing in regards to you telling your colleagues. It says, let your manager know. It don't say anything in regards to you telling your colleagues anything.
Yeah.
And the fact that I didn't do all of these things and really didn't go by his way of doing it because he wanted me to fall into his way of how he ran his branch. Absolutely not. And the way that you run your branch is poorly, in my opinion, because it's not to where people of color feel comfortable at all. Because you guys claim that you are a family, but to outsiders, they feel that energy and you will let them feel it. It's okay when you do it, but it's a problem when I do it.
So do you feel like they were pressuring you? Because I know there was another incident where you were brought into the office where he asked you if you were a morning person.
No, he asked me that on the actual line. I had just walked in, and I was actually at my computer signing in, getting ready to get started for today. And he comes down the steps. Are you a morning person? And I look at him like, why did you ask me that? Well, it just seems as though in the morning you are not, you know, ready for the day or you're not here all the way. And I just want to know if you're a morning person or not. Okay. I didn't know that I had to be a morning person in order to do my job. It's not even opening time yet. I don't deal with customers.
I mean, what does that even mean? You're not here all the way. You're not fully with us. Like, what does that mean? Like, what do you feel like they were expecting from you?
He wanted me to come in, I guess, energetic because he would see how I was able to have a relationship with my customers and all of these additional things. Like my clients is something different in regards to my colleagues because these individuals are coming in and they have money in this bank. Our jobs is to serve the client, give them 100% customer service, and that's what I did. I don't have to joke and laugh with y'all in here if I don't want to.
Yeah.
You can't make me do that. That's not, if I don't like you, I don't like you. If I'm not dealing with your energy, I don't have to deal with it.
Do you feel like they were trying to make you out to be the aggressive black woman or angry black woman?
Absolutely. You hit it dead on the nail. You hit it dead on the nail. Dead on the nail. And for the last time he pulled me in the office, he goes through this whole, well, I see that you were off of the line for 15 minutes. I had a situation to occur. I needed to take me a 15-minute breather, give me a little break. It was slow. Nobody was there.
I usually do that.
Absolutely all the time. We take breaks, go to the stove, go cross to get something to eat. We do this all the time. So why all of a sudden it's a problem today? So everybody else can do it, but I can't. Okay. But I'm going to take this 15-minute break today. However long I need to get myself together. So therefore, I do not come off with that energy to these clients. I'm going to take my breather. And 15 minutes is what I needed. And I did that. And I went back and I was back on the money, doing what I was doing. And he calls me in the office about 1 o'clock, talking about, oh, well, I noticed that you were not there, and your team, and this, and like, why are we talking about this right now? So I told him I do not fool with the team because of this particular person and her mess.
Well, wait, because I want to stop for a minute because I want to back up because I want them to quite understand. There was a situation with the Kelly lady, and
Yes.
she said she wanted to know your business,
Hmm.
and she told you that she was what, a Sagittarius, and she gets her way, or she'll get to know you. What was the situation with that?
So basically, we were having like a group discussion at the end of the day. And this particular day, we were all talking and just having just ramble. And so within that, she was saying, oh, I'm a Sagittarius. And if I want to get down to the bottom of something, I'm going to get down to the bottom of it. And I'm going to make sure of it. So in my mind, it was a mental note. Oh, and that was also validation for me. Oh, girl, you are messy.
Mm-hmm.
You are really messy. And then with her, what she would like to do, this is a lady that's in her 60s. So when she finds a person of color, she would hug them. Oh, you're so amazing. Aubrey, this is so and so. Could you help them? You could tell when they had the black clients to come into the branch how they treated them. Very nasty, very transactional, very fake, phony, and all of that. And these are people that they, yes, yes, yes. They didn't even see the energy, but I'm watching them treat them like nothing.
Mm.
Always having something to say about everybody. They talked about every client.
Mm.
They talked about people, gossiped about people, knew everybody's business. Like things that were happening in this branch were so unprofessional. It made me uncomfortable. So you think y'all sit here and talk about all these folks and you finna talk about me and have something to talk about me about? Absolutely not. If you thought I was born yesterday,
So
you tried.
to know they wanted to know your personal business. They wanted to know what you were like outside of work. They wanted you to share your life with them. And how many times do you believe that you were pulled to the side or brought into the office or had this discussion about you being the team player with your personal life?
I would say about 5 or 6 times over the course of me being there. I got there in January, and my last month there was this month in March. So
Wow.
between all of that time, from January up until now, I've been pulled in the office 5 times being talked about that, or just in coachings he would ease it in. We would have coachings all the time, but he's always pulling me away, and all like he's going and getting information and then coming back to me with it. Like, where is all this coming from? Why are you pulling me away for this? Why are we talking about this? And then it's always, well, Aubrey, I know you. And I'm like, okay. And I know that we understand each other, but nobody really understands you. And I want everybody to see what I see. Hmm. Do you? Do you now?
Understand you about what, and what is it he thought that he saw?
He would say, "You're an awesome person. You're very smart," and all he would praise me in the office as if I did not know how awesome I already am.
Mm,
You don't need to remind me about the characteristics that I already possess,
mm-hmm.
because I know that's how I got this job. Sir, you are pretty much having the privilege of being able to understand that, but because you are so nosy, sir,
Why do you
you
think they were so intrigued with your personal life? Do you think it's because you're a trans woman?
I feel like that he told them because he already knew, and he can't hold water. So, of course, he may have told Kelly because she was actually one of the managers. And he told other people, and I'm pretty sure that that was their go-to to figure out why I was so disconnected from them, or what am I doing to, I don't know. I just don't know. I really
Well,
didn't
let me
think
ask you
hard.
this. Okay, so let me ask you this. When you and your colleagues were in conversation and they're speaking, did you speak back?
Yeah. I was me
So you
back
were
to them.
cordial.
I was cordial. Yes. My relationship with them was very cordial. It was not like we have a relationship or anybody else that's in my close circle. It was not like that, because I feel like that you don't know me like that to be able to have that access to me like that.
And you're at work.
And I'm at work.
So you said your numbers were good. You didn't have any complaints as far as your productivity, like you know the way you were handling your clientele. Like,
No. There was a situation to where I did have a complaint with a Melanin woman, but she was upset because I called her by her first name. And he came to me like, "Oh, you remember this client? Yeah, she made a report on you because you called her by her first name." And I looked at him like, "We call everybody Miss So and So, Mr. So and So, just so that we can build that connection with them." You
yeah,
know,
you
like,
didn't just call her Kim. You said Miss Kim.
absolutely. Because she was an elderly Melanin woman. And I can't remember her name, but I said, "Miss So and So, are we cashing the check today?" Giving her the utmost respect, and thought that I was doing my job. Her daughter was absolutely floored at how she was acting, because she was like, "Mama, like, what's the issue?"
So she said something to you at that time, at that moment.
No, she didn't say anything at the moment, but she mumbled something. She was upset. So I don't know what she said because I couldn't hear her. So,
Okay.
but apparently, whenever I left and went to do something else to get something for her, she was pissed.
Hmm.
And that's what made her call the complaint in to him. She called the branch, he answered, and he took the call for the complaint.
And because you called her Miss first name instead of Miss Williams, for
Mm-hmm.
example,
Mm-hmm.
she wanted to be Mrs. Williams and not Mrs. Kim.
Absolutely.
Okay, understood. And so on the day of where everything came to a head, you were brought into the office again, where you were saying once more, where Chris, the
Yes.
manager, Chris,
Mm-hmm.
Chris Jacobs, right?
Jacobson.
Jacobson, Chris
Mm-hmm.
Jacobson,
Mm-hmm.
the branch manager, brought you in once more,
Mm-hmm.
to once again tell you he felt like you weren't being friendly enough
Right.
with the team.
In other words, he really just didn't, say it out like that, but that was pretty much what it is. And the team felt, well, Kelly Miss Kelly felt as though that I was not being polite with her enough because by this point I was tired of her and her antics. And you will not bring that mess to me. It was one particular situation to where I was in drive-through and you have to come down the steps to get to where I'm in because we're in the bottom, like a little thing where we're actually handling drive-through transactions. And she comes down, bombards me. I just get on the computer, sign in, and she's like, "Can you do this transaction for me, girl? I don't have that. You didn't ask me if I had that amount. That amount that you had, I didn't have in my drawer. Talk to somebody that has more money than me. Your girlfriend over here to the right of me, she has all the money. Joyce, she got the money, sis. Go to her." So I just was like, can you do this transaction? Cause listen, she getting on my nerves. In my head, she getting on my nerves, but can you do this transaction? That's the tone I gave her. Because now you're getting on my nerves. You coming, trying to, hi, what are you doing? Like, stop trying to be my friend. You are 60 something years old, ma'am. We have nothing in common.
Do you feel like
Absolutely
this
not.
was a part of what she was saying? Like, I'm gonna get to the bottom of it. What was she trying to get to the bottom of with you? She wanted to know your business. Like, what did she want to know?
I don't know. Maybe she wanted to know if I was going to tell her if I was trans or not. But it wasn't her business. It's nobody's business, actually. I don't have to tell you anything that I have to do. Now, if you decide to go and look at my page and get that information for yourself, then you do that. But at the very moment that you decide to bring that to me at my job, then we have a problem.
Because someone did bring it to you at your job, right? They did go to your social media page.
Who went to my social media
You
page?
said something to the effect of somebody said, I saw your page or something. I said,
Oh,
somebody
yeah,
did
yeah,
your
yeah.
social
So
media?
Chris, he comes and he was like, "Yeah, I saw your Facebook page and I saw that you was a content creator." This was like the second week.
Yes.
This
Yes.
was the second week that I was there live. So this was the second week in January. We were in our coaching on that Friday and he was like, "Well, I saw you on Facebook. You popped up and I checked out your Facebook page and I saw that you were a content creator." And I was
So
like,
in the
"Okay.
realm of Facebook, if
Yeah.
I don't know you, I wouldn't just pop up on your page. We would have to have people in common to say, and it would say someone you may know because we
Mhm.
would have people in common. Do you have people in common with Chris?
Absolutely not. But I feel like a part of that was because he had my number in his phone. And usually with Facebook, they have it to where if you have a person's number and that number is attached to their Facebook account, then you would be able to see their profile. So with us having our personal numbers in a text group chat instead of like a group me or something in regards a WhatsApp or something like that, he was able to see my personal profile. And for me, I was just like, that's weird.
Yeah.
Like I didn't come in here on the method of, oh, I want you to follow me on all of my social medias. Absolutely not. Like that was not anything that I wanted to happen
I,
because
you know, I know that some employers will look up their employees to see what's going on their social medias, which is an invasion of privacy. But okay, we do know that they sometimes do that. But for him to do that 2 weeks in and then keep approaching you saying, like, be more friendly with us. I know you. Excuse me. Do you know Chris?
absolutely not. Have
Why
never
does
met
he
him a
feel
day in
like
my
he
life.
knows you?
Huh?
Why does he feel like he knows you?
He feels that he knows my personality. And because when we talk, we have a different type of conversation, and he's able to understand how I am and all of these things. Like he felt that he knew me as if we was like best buddies. And really and truly, I was just being fake with you, just like you being fake with me, friend.
Right. So you, in this last conversation you had with him, you told him this is your fault because you allowed your employees to treat me a certain way. What did you mean
Absolutely.
by that?
I meant this is your fault. He had a conversation with me where he indicated that how he managed in the past, he allowed his employees to handle their own situations without him being included. He
Okay.
was not a problem solver. Strike number one. Why are you a manager if you don't know how to solve problems?
Mm-hmm.
Strike number one.
Mm-hmm.
Why were you a problem? I mean, why were you a manager if you don't know how to solve problems?
Yeah.
You
Right.
understand? And
Mm-hmm.
for me, it was just like you claim you know me, but you really don't. You don't know me, sir. And
I'm trying to understand why was it such every almost an everyday thing that they needed to get to know you. Like, were you performing properly at work? Yes. I was meeting my quotas. Yes. Did I follow policy and procedure? Yes. So now what is the real issue as to why you're being brought into the office, pulled to the side? You're not being friendly. Well, you're fine with our customers, but our family here at the bank feels like you're not being a team player because you didn't come to the Christmas party and you haven't been gossiping with us and fraternizing with us, and we don't know your business as we got to know because someone else transferred too from your office, correct? It was another female or something, correct?
two, it was the girl that I had an altercation with. She transferred, and then the guy that the girl that was having sexual relations that took my position at the other branch, he transferred out as well because he and her, had a place together. But with that, he was real quiet. Like he was a Mexican. I mean Hispanic. Let me say that. I don't want to be disrespectful. He was Hispanic. So for him, he was real quiet. Like he really and truly didn't bother nobody, and me and him got along just great. But the kicker of it one day was he was gone for like maybe um I would say a week or something, a couple of days. He comes, oh no, he was already transferred at the other location. He comes back to help us and he says to me, Aubrey, I heard you were moving. I said, who told you that? Oh, my girlfriend told me.
But his
How did
girlfriend
she
doesn't work
know?
at your bank.
Right. I said, how did she know? Oh, I don't know. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know. He was pretty much in the modes of expressing his appreciation or, congratulations for me. Had no clue that I didn't share it with anybody else.
But
So
your manager,
that somebody I told the manager.
yeah.
That's who I told. I didn't tell anybody else
Mm-hmm.
that I was leaving. So that means that you have went and told everybody something and it has gotten to another branch and then how it's gotten back to me from somebody that also works at another branch but only working here to help us for that day. So now two people at two different branches plus y'all at this branch know I'm moving. How was that even possible? And I
Wow.
remember texting you because I was so pissed.
Yeah, you were. You were very upset that
I was
someone
so
outside of the
upset.
bank knew the business.
Right. And I didn't tell anybody.
Okay, so the day that everything happened, he pulled you into the office, told you wasn't being a team player again. You come out, and now Joyce has triggered you. And what happened with that?
So we are in the drive up. Um, Usually it's two people in the drive up. Uh, you have 5 lanes in some of them, you have 4 in some of them. Our particular branch had 5. So my duties would be on the end. So they say I would handle 2 specific colors. And because I was on the end, on the to where you can be able to see me on the teller end, I was supposed to help the teller in the front when they got backed up and things of that nature. So, um, I hear her talking to the customer on her actual colors. She had three colors: purple, green, and yellow. So she tells the car in green that she's going to send him a withdrawal slip because he called, buzzed in to say that he needs one. So she gets the withdrawal slip, she puts it in there. Also, she's talking to her other client that she's helping in yellow, and she's helping him out. So I'm listening. So therefore, I can be able to make sure that when the tube comes in, I can be able to help her too. Because even though that I'm looking through my phone, because we had just got through talking about Taylor Swift at this point, so we're all
So you
collectively
are
having.
having friendly dialogue
I was
and
having fake dialogue.
conversation.
Right. Casual dialogue. When we're just there, we're just having casual conversation. I'm being cordial. I'm doing my cordial thing. I'm doing what I feel that I need to give you. I'm not giving you everything. I'm just giving you a little piece. So I'm doing that. And so both of the tubes come back at the same time. I didn't hear it. Right? So I'm still down in my phone. I'm just doing my little thing. And the best moves, because I just said in my head, oh, I got 49 minutes left in regards to this. Because it was like 410 or some 409 or something. And she picks up the tube and she said, oh, I got to pass you this too. Child, I snapped. I snapped. Because it's like, and I told her, I said, Joyce, I didn't hear that. Come down. I didn't know. Usually you're like, hey, green's here. Normally, you would tell me when a tube is coming down because you're handling something else. And normally, you work so fast, you could be able to handle both of those transactions or handle the yellow and then go ahead and get your green. Green is your color, ma'am. Has
So was
nothing
the
to do with
tube for
me.
her or for you?
Huh?
It was for her or for you?
It was for her. The yellow, green, and purple is for her because she handles up the drive-up window and the two other colors. Usually, if we have things come down, they'll come down and help with the tubes if we're backed up. We all helped. Of course, the journey is to help the client. Period. We get that. I know I'm at work. Even though on my phone, I know I'm at work. But I didn't hear this tube. And you're making it seem as though that I purposely did not get this tube. And you got an attitude. You were already upset all day. Anyway, maybe somebody pissed your Cheerios that morning. I don't know. But when you decided that you were going to talk to me as if I was beneath you and I was a lazy individual that did not want to do her job, we had a problem. We have a problem. And I let Joyce have it.
So who were you having the dialogue with about Taylor Swift?
We were talking, it was a new hire that they just hired. She was there. Um, she was talking about because it was her favorite artist. Chris was up there, and I don't know who else was up there, but I think in the magic of us, all three of us were just talking. She was just sitting over there doing reading or whatever. She was minding her business or trying
She was
to,
reading
I
a
guess,
book.
exit herself out of the conversation.
She wasn't being a team player inside the conversation.
Right. She wasn't interested in that or whatever.
You
So
saying so she
everybody,
was reading a book?
yeah, she normally would read her books on her phone. Like everybody uses their phone. So when he would tell me you need to be out of your phone, no, because everybody be on their phone up in here, including you. So why do I have to put my phone down when everybody gets in here using their phone? You're not gonna just pick and choose when you want to tell me what I feel like that I should be able to do when you feel like I should feel like to do it. No, that's not what we're doing. We're not gonna pick and choose what rules we want to enforce when we want to enforce them. That's not gonna happen. And I did what I needed to do to keep me good. You don't know what I got going on in my phone. It could be me answering an email. It could be us talking about things that we need to do in the Let's Have a Conversation chat. It could be anything. The important things. If I have downtime and we're slow and we're not busy, what else is you going to do? Just sit there and just look at the computer screen? No, ma'am. I'm not doing that.
So
Absolutely not.
she's reading her book on her phone.
Uh-huh.
She gets a customer to come in. The tube comes down. You're now in your phone because the dialogue is now subsided. So now you're in your phone. The tube comes down. They come down simultaneously. So you didn't hear a tube that was for you because you knew her tube was there.
I knew
So
her too was there. Right.
yeah. So then she says to you, do I have to hand this to you as well? Like for you to do your job?
Correct. Correct.
And so
And
you responded what?
I responded, I said, who are you talking to? And I didn't hear this tube come down. Because I didn't. I was disconnected. I heard it, but I'm thinking this is your yellow tube that you have already been working with. I'm hearing you work with the client. Girl, I can multitask now, ma'am. I'm hearing you. I'm also watching what's going on. I know it is a melanite man that's in this green lane that's trying to get his withdrawal slip. And I know that eventually when this tube come down, if you're not done with what you're doing, I'm going to have to handle that. I have no problem with that, ma'am. I've been coming over getting all of your tubes all rising.
Mm, okay. Got it.
So we're helping out each other. You ain't came and got one of mine yet, but I'm coming to get yours. Every time you have somebody at your window, I'm coming to get your tubes and handling your tubes for you. Because I guess you feel like today you just gonna take your merry-go time to see if I'm going to work or whatever you trying to do. You trying to stir up something. So after that meeting, and then this is the end of the day. So I'm like, girl, I ain't got that much time left. I'm finna go home and we're gonna do this one more again tomorrow. And it's gonna be the weekend for me. You know, in my mind, I'm thinking, you know, I got things going on. I can be able to do whatever I need to do. So, and then by this point, Chris comes down like the Captain Saberholt because I'm getting angry. I'm getting louder and she's talking and I don't even know what she's saying, but I'm telling her, just shut up. Just shut up talking to me. Do not say nothing. She's like, gladly. Well, because see, you already know it's going to be a problem. Chris comes and running through the door. And then he says, what's going on? I said, she needs to learn how to talk to people. And I told him, I said, this is your fault. This is how you run your branch. They feel like they can talk to anybody the way that they feel like they want to talk to them. They're not going to talk to me like that. Absolutely not. It will
because
never
he
happen.
doesn't handle situations. He allows them to handle their situations.
Correct. And when you thought you was going to handle me, that's when you had a problem. So,
okay. So then if that's the way he runs his bank, then he should have allowed the situation to be handled because that's how he handles the problem.
Correct. 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 And he comes down and he says, do you need to just go home for the rest of the day? I said, absolutely. I said, because at this point I'm shaking, nerves is bad. I'm already at 1,000. I moved from level 1 all the way to level 10 at this point. Because
so he came to you. He didn't ask her, who was not being a team player. She was not in the Taylor Swift conversation. She wasn't being friendly upon the conversation you had with him and the new hire. She was sitting reading a book on her telephone. So he didn't come to her and ask her if she needed to be excused and go home. He asked you.
He didn't even ask me everything that happened, nor did he call when he sent me home that day. He didn't even call to actually give me time to calm down to say, hey, Aubrey, I'm calling to see exactly what happened. Tell me what happened. None of that was done. None of that was done.
Yeah.
The correct way that a manager should be able to investigate an issue between two colleagues. You didn't do that this time. You didn't. You tried to really make this situation a me thing, and you felt like that your mission was accomplished. Because I get a text message from a colleague that is a floater that helps them.
Wait, because you went in the next day.
Oh, yes. Oh, so I went in the next rising because he had asked me the day before, can you come in on Saturday to make up the hours because I was on vacation to attend the Aesthetic. And he says, you can come in and get some more hours, you know, just help us out on Saturday. You want to come in with us and get some more hours? I'm like, cool, sure, let's do that. So I come in, he looks like he sees a ghost. Well, Aubrey, we're just going to go ahead and let you go. And we're going to pay you your 40 hours for your last week, which would have been this week. And we're going to pay you for yesterday and today. You are, huh?
So what was he letting you go for?
He didn't say.
And did he let Joyce go as well, or
Joyce was down there having a conversation with the new hire while
the
Kelly
one that
was
they
at her
really
desk
hired to
fiddling with her
replace
nails.
you?
Huh?
The one they really hired to replace you is what happened. Mm. So we're gonna just let you go. So you had to exit the premises and he
So
turn in your keys or
turn in
computer
my
or whatnot.
keys and all of that. And then he yells out, "Have a good move,"
Have a good move.
on the way out the door. Have a good move.
Wow. Wowzers. So okay, so then last night, yesterday, you got a text message.
Yes. So I get a text message from a colleague that I worked with at the other branch because she's a floater. So the whole time that I was actually there at the other place training, she was there as well. And our connection was cool because she felt, hey, I got a Melanite as a fiance. I find you cool. I have no issues with no Melanite people, even though that I'm a genome. I have no issues, girl. We cool. That was her energy towards it. So she texts me and she says, "What the fuck happened?" And I begin to tell her. She proceeds to say, "Well, when I first walk in, Chris immediately tells me before I sit down that we had to let Aubrey go." And he goes and says all of these untrue things. And she's trying to find the truth because none of what they're talking about and what she has now tuned out is what describes me. She was like, "I knew that was some bullshit." So when I go and tell her the whole story, she's like, "Wow, that is completely opposite of what he said." So
What did she say
th-
that he said?
she was just basically like, he said that they let me go. And I guess it was because of the whole snapping on Joyce or all of this. And then I tell her everything, that even at the fact that he knew that I was trans. And she did not say exactly what he said. And nor did I pry her to get that information. But I mean, I feel like that I could. But I didn't think about it. I just assumed y'all are in here gossiping like y'all do because I know how y'all act when things happen. That's a big issue. Y'all sit and y'all gossip about everything. So now you've already heard Joyce's side. Joyce has told you everything that happened, and she's giving you every scenario of what could possibly happen. And you, sir, have now taken Joyce's side and went and have not asked me a question about anything. A text to make sure that I was okay. You've only taken Joyce's word and you've utilized her words and made that the issue and the problem.
So the trans woman that the preacher, the ex-pastor preacher, did not particularly um accept because she wasn't a team player, but we still don't know what team he wanted you to play on when you were fully engaging in conversation when the conversation was brought to you, but you just weren't telling him your personal life to the point where he needed to even go to your social media to find out more about your personal life. To me, Aubrey Marie, it sounds like they had an issue with you being a trans woman.
Mm.
There's something that should be done. I feel like US Bank should be held accountable and liable for how you were treated from the very beginning. I know you told me before there was a female who transferred, and you said, I think it was Kelly, you said she even cried, like she cried about it. And I really loved her. We were close or something, but you said you had got a feeling that it was something more to that as well.
Yes, it was a Melanite woman who she had lunch with. She had lunch with her one day and she actually came to the branch. And I feel like that with her having lunch with her, they had a discussion about me. Cause she came in and you know how some people will just be like, oh hey, I'm just speaking. Girl, I looked at her. Girl, I know why you here. And I need you also to know that Kelly is around telling your business too. Because when she was down there crying and having her moment, well, I just miss her so much. But you just told me all her business about a baby daddy being in jail, about she don't choose the right man in relationship. She had different options of men and she chose the wrong man. All of these things. And I'm like, wow. So we telling people business now just because they're other Melanite people? Hmm.
So you feel like she had her come down there because was she conducting business?
No, she worked on the call center side. She had moved into a different department. So she really had no reason to come, but because she worked there, let me go and speak to everybody. Let me go and say
It just
hey
so happened.
to everybody.
I believe you have a lawsuit and you need to pursue it. If there's anyone that can help Aubrey with her situation and may be able to reach out to someone that can reach out to someone, Aubrey, where's the bank located?
It is located in St. Peters, Missouri.
And that's
St.
outside of St. Louis.
That is outside of St. Louis, correct?
St. Peters, Missouri, outside of St. Louis. And if anyone can help Aubrey, or knows, how she can go about to have the situation rectified, please reach out to her, to myself, put it in the chat, in the comments after. Because for me, I feel like immediately, every time you would tell me these things, I thought they want to know your personal business because they don't know and they know that you're trans and they really want to know that. So when she said we haven't had a new hire in so long, really what she meant is we haven't had one of you ever and a black woman in a very long time because the other one was already gone. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I believe this is a personal issue because like they didn't have an issue. You told Chris you wanted to file a complaint and you still waiting for him to send some phone number to you because he still
Absolutely.
refused to send it.
Yeah. He thinks that I am going to beg for this number. I told you that I told you my lawyers suggested that I should file a harassment lawsuit against you guys, and his eyes got so big. Hmm. You're scared? You shouldn't
Mm,
be. Because you wasn't when you was doing all this BS in this brand.
mhm.
When at the end of the day, I don't come here for you to understand what I got going on. That is mess and drama. And you wanted me to be a part of that. You won't make a mockery or a fool out of me on purpose.
Mhm.
No.
Mhm. So she
That's
could have
never gonna
told
happen.
your business the way she told that lady's business.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And creating the energy so where either I could possibly getting, into it with a client or, anything because she's that type of individual. Everybody really is that type of individual, honestly. It's different levels of it though. But I think that for them, they felt that I had to do that because I owed them something. I owed you nothing. You are nothing to me. You are a colleague. That's it. You're not a friend. You're not a buddy old pal. You're none of that. You were a colleague and you were treated as such.
Well, we're gonna see what can be done. So again, whomever can help Aubrey, please reach out to us to see how we can go about holding those who need to be held liable, and rectify the situation. I show gratitude for you coming on. We're getting ready to do let's have a
Gratitude,
conversation here
gratitude.
in about 20 minutes. So we're gonna go ahead and end this.
Yes.
And I'm so sorry that this happened to you. Hopefully, we can get something done and rectify the situation. Again, this is U.S. Bank we're talking about,
Yes.
in St. Peters, Missouri, right outside of St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
Bank manager is Christopher Jacobson.
Absolutely.
And we're going to see what we can do. Okay. So I show gratitude. I'll see you in about 25 minutes, 25 minutes, Miss Aubrey.
See y'all.
All right. Love y'all to life.
Gratitude.
Gratitude,
Love you too.
everyone. Peace.